It's the 3rd of September 2024 and we've just had storms for the last 3 or 4 days similar to what we've had back in May 2022. This is the area usually impacted, but these bigger rocks provide great security. The water has pounded up here, stripped out some of the clumps where there was undergrowth. In this section you can see the red coloured sand that was brought here over Christmas 2022-2023. This was dumped over the side by Delp and has held very well until this storm. A little further along, anyone following that track down now is in for a bit of a shock. And you can see where the sand and what growth we had has been stripped away. This area that I've just covered is probably the most vulnerable. This shows the driveway to the Piranha Street Lane. We now come to the sandbag area. You can see along the top of the sandbags where it's removed what growth they had on the top. For a long time we had the sandbags almost covered by sand. The full length, the total length of the sandbags has now been stripped of any sand and growth that it had. The render was also torn off this fairly new fence of 2 years old roughly. We're now back to the sandbag area. You can see one damaged sandbag. This photo here is about 6 months old and shows how the red sand stood up until then. Everything you see there has now been stripped away, and as you saw earlier, the rocks are totally exposed. This now is the original work done about 1969, and you can see the formation underneath that leads around to the second laneway near the Piranha Street roadway. The next photo as well is much the same, and this is the area that I said was probably the most vulnerable a little bit earlier. I believe what's under the road is quite substantial, but not as good as what you saw around towards the clubhouse. The following newspaper was 1970, about the time that they finished the work, and looking down the road towards the clubhouse, you can see what is underneath. We now step back to about 2018. Note all the undergrowth and the growth right over the sandbags. This is the sandbag area continuing on down towards Coleman Court or Coleman Street. You can see the emergence now of the bluestone wall. This is all gone now. We jump back now to about 2018. This is the area that I said was vulnerable. If you want to walk further down the beach now, in September 2024, this is what also happened a little bit further down I've never seen this eroded to this point before, and I think we all need to look at what we do along this foreshore and get our beach back. I'm very much of the belief that we now need to start with every dredging that we do, pulling the sand back to the shore, right along the coastline, and not distributing it where it plateaus out into the water. We have to bring it up higher, over the foliage, over the bags, all the way along the shore and build up the shoreline. I'll jump back to the sailing club. Now that there is a trough developing, you will now once again start getting massive accumulations of seaweed from time to time. When the minor storms occur, it will be brought in and sink into these low-lying troughs. Thanks for your time. Hope this was helpful.